Well, Donald Trump says, quote, "I know who it's going to be," unquote, regarding his vice president. But no one else in the GOP does know, including his son, Don Jr. So we're going to get to this quote from him on Fox. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel, and I am full of speculation on the subject because I'm still calling it for Elise Stafik. But I'm going to keep covering this news as long as I keep getting counter information, especially from someone high up like Don Jr.
Did you see Ron DeSantis?
How do you? It's hard. People do that. Like, I would do whatever I could to make sure it wasn't Nikki Haley. But but like a Ron DeSantis, could I see? You're never going to rule out someone that is, a leading contender. It doesn't mean that's who you go with. I could see other people that would be great.
I agree that Ron DeSantis would be a real uniting feature of the party, but I think he's kind of too much Trump already. So he's looking for something that he very much is not. Nikki Haley, definitely out. I can't imagine Trump dividing his own base like that. That's an unforced error just to try and get what is poisonous Democrat money to support him. It shows a level of maturity that he'd be willing to do Ron DeSantis, though I don't think he's going to be the pick.
I'd love to see, a J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance, that's him right there in the middle. He is impressive. He wrote Hillbilly Elegy, and he's a very quiet demeanored guy that I think Trump has shown he really enjoys guys like that. With Mike Pence, forget what Mike Pence did. I'm just talking about his demeanor. Now here's Axios. The GOP is already clashing over Trump's VP pick. Trump Veep stakes heat up after the Iowa blowout. So those are the headlines that there's a big kind of fight within our own party. It's really over Nikki Haley. It's anyone but Nikki, which is what Rand Paul said regarding the candidate, who he will endorse. Nikki Haley is poison. She has to lose in New Hampshire, and I'm confident she will get blown out. So as long as it's not her, I'm happy.
I'd love to see Tucker Carlson.
He brings up Tucker Carlson again, and I think Tucker Carlson is the real wild card pick, way outside, because he's not a politician. He's a newscaster. But he and Trump get along really well. His name keeps coming up, and here Don Jr. clearly digs him.
And I'd love to see, people who are just principally, in alignment as well as like aggressive. You actually need a fighter. The Republicans in Washington, D.C. are weak. You can have the House, the Senate, and they'll still roll over.
I agree with that too. And that is wise. You can have the House and Senate and they'll still roll over. So just because we're going to get a dominant majority doesn't mean Trump's job is done. He's going to need a vice president who fights. I believe Elise Stafik has proven she fights because she beat Harvard and all of those intellectual institutions with 5 minutes in a hearing floor. But Tucker Carlson is another fighter. Is he seriously still being considered? I just want to say that if Don Jr. knew who Trump would pick, he would not be giving all of these answers. So at the very least, Trump has not shared his VP pick with his son.
Don, is your dad serious about Tucker Carlson? Are those rumors serious?
I would imagine, listen, that's clearly, it would be on the table, right? I mean, they're very friendly. I think they agree on virtually all of these things. They certainly agree on stopping the never-ending wars. And so, I would love to see that happen. And, that would certainly be a contender.
He believes Tucker Carlson is still a contender. Tucker Carlson's name keeps coming up. By the way, Vivek Ramaswamy, I hear a lot of like the kids that don't know what they're talking about bring him up. And I just don't think he's got a shot. Maybe as a press secretary, I think he'd be great. I don't think he's going to be vice president. Remember, he's queuing up who's going to be president next. That is not going to be Vivek. Maybe a Tucker Carlson or J.D. Vance would be fantastic, and certainly Elise Stafik. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I've given my piece on this. Now it's your turn. Let's hear from you. That's why you have the ability to put a comment below. Subscribe. I'm Doug in Exile.